Hi everyone, it's Derek here with GamerBody. In this video, I'm going to answer a question on do you meal prep in order to stay in shape, build muscle, lose weight, all of that stuff. So let's jump right into the video. Now I've had this question come up quite a few times in the past on do I meal prep, because I know other people that have, some who do some kind of competitions or whatnot, and they meal prepped, and I always end up getting this question on do I meal prep to stay in shape. Now, as someone who does not care to ever step on a stage, show off my body in that type of way, I personally, as of right now, do not meal prep any of my foods. This is mainly due to two reasons. One is because I'm lazy. The other is I actually like to make and eat food quite frequently, especially dinners. Now, when it comes to most meals I'll make, I tend to make a breakfast, lunch, and dinner as of recently. Before I wasn't really making breakfast all that often, but I've kind of switched over to making breakfast now. As long as I make them and they're made of whole natural sources, I tend to do pretty well without any kind of meal prep at all. Now, there are services that can make this easier for you, and I am looking into a few in order to review on this channel, but as of right now, just know I do not meal prep at all for my training. Now, some things I do are things like my plate breakup, which I'm trying to always have a protein source, fibrous carb, and starchy carb in all of my meals. This way I can get the basis of everything I'll need to perform optimally. Now, I may still be missing some nutrients here and there, but those can be filled in with other supplements, snacks that I know can fill in the things I'm missing, and whatnot in my daily meals. So for those of you looking to do some kind of meal prep service or do meal prepping yourself, here are some reasons why it can actually help you a lot if you need to do meal prepping. Alright, so the people who should do this are those that really need to, like they've been pushed to a point where they need to look into the meals that they're eating in order to, I'd say most of the time, lose weight. Now, you'll also need to do this if you want to become some kind of bodybuilder and get on stage. If you want to be in tip-top shape, you definitely need some kind of meal prepping service or do it yourself in order to be dialed in on your macros to look and feel your best when you jump on stage. However, but just being an average gamer like myself, if you want to be in really good shape, you can do what I'm doing and really just break down your plate again into proteins, fibrous carb, and starchy carb, and you'll pretty much, again, cover everything there. I'm doing it 3 meals a day. You can do intermittent fasting if you want, and you just break the 2 meals into that and then make sure you fill in elsewhere with your calories. But note, depending on if you want to lose weight or gain weight, you are going to need to keep track of your calories in and calories out, and also how much you're burning each day in order to get the results that kind of like I have right now. And to do that, you may need to track what you're eating for like 1 to 2 weeks or so, maybe even longer, like a month I'd say. I think I did it for a month initially starting out, and now I don't really track at all because I can kind of gauge how I'm doing throughout my day. If I find that I'm putting on weight, I make a little change. If I feel like I'm losing weight and I want to gain weight, I make the necessary changes in order to stay where I am, because I want to stay at around, again, the 185 mark is where I feel like look the best. So now I'm going to jump into the reasons I am currently not meal prepping. The first and probably most obvious reason for most is that I'm way too lazy to sit down and cook meals for my entire week. The second one is that I like to have freshly cooked food. I don't want to be reheating food I cooked earlier in that week. There may be some ways around this where maybe you just don't cook the meat but you have it ready to go and you cook it that day. But I really just like to make it all right there and have it taste as good as possible that day while I'm eating it. Also, I stick to a plate type of approach where I break it down to having always a protein source, fibrous carb, and starchy carb. That way I cover the basis of what I'll need in my diet. I can do other fill-in things from here and there, like supplements if I need to, or filling in a snack somewhere to help make sure I get all my food or whatnot. But really, I just stick to those plates, and I have the results I have pretty much from doing that for a long time now. Also, I have no desire to be a bodybuilder of any kind and stand on stage. I know some people's approaching to like losing weight or getting in great shape is I'm going to go and jump on stage. That way I have to dial in and do all this stuff. Personally, that's not for me. I really don't care. I'd rather be on my computer gaming and playing with people, but I always like to look and feel as best I can. So those are the things I focus on. Again, I do not care to be on stage. Therefore, I don't really need to be tracking that heavily to get in shape, even if I feel like it comes decently easy for me. And probably the last thing is that I don't want to spend money on someone either building out a macro plan for me. I'm not a nutritionist. I understand a lot about nutrition as I've read a ton of books on it, listened to it a lot and all that stuff. So I kind of know what I'm doing in terms of me. You might need someone to build one for you, but I really just don't want to pay for membership services, as one, I don't have the money to do so, and I really don't want to pay someone else to make one for me. So I'm going to take the knowledge I have and really just build out a plan I feel like fits well with how I understand fitness and what it can do for me, and I feel like I've done a great job doing that over the past couple years. So wrapping up this video, no, I do not use a meal prepping service of any kind at this time. I am looking into some that I want to review for this channel to see if they're any good. I have things like ButcherBox, which is not really a meal prepping service, it's more like a meat delivery service. As well as I go to Costco to buy things in bulk that I then make food with. But no, I do not have an actual meal prepping service, and I don't meal prep my food for the week at any time. I really have never done it in the past because I know I'm just too lazy to do so. And I know a lot of other people will probably relate to this as well, as they don't want to spend a day meal prepping all their food and then taking cold food and stuff like that to work to eat. For me, that's not as good. I'd rather just have my food all made for me, ready to go, right when I want it. So to wrap up, here are 3 ways you can really dial in your nutrition to being the best that it can be without hiring some kind of person to build you a meal plan or looking into meal plan services. One is to really look and be truthful about what you're eating each day. The number one problem with people, especially when they go and start tracking what they eat, is that they're actually not tracking it correctly. They're really underestimating how many calories they're eating per day, and also probably missing a lot of nutrients here and there. So they're really not going through the entire day and writing down exactly what they did. Like if you're using MyFitnessPal or some other app like that, you're probably missing things through the day that you're actually eating that you're not even aware of. So you have to really be truthful and make sure that you don't miss anything, especially when you're starting out and tracking for like that first 2 weeks or month on what you're eating. And I do recommend you do that for maybe like a month, and then you'll kind of just know what you're eating throughout the day. Things may come in here and there, of course, they'll come into your life, but as long as you kind of understand what you're eating, you're going to start going in the right direction and understand your body better. Another tip is to start reducing or swapping out your processed foods for real foods. This is a big one that's really changed for me recently. I still eat processed foods all the time, especially weekends. Me and my wife go out for pizza and especially sushi pretty much every weekend at this point. So we're always doing that. It's usually one meal. I'm not like doing it for tons and tons of meals, but it's usually one meal we're doing that on the weekends. And the rest of the week, I tend to make all my own food unless something comes up where we go to like a party or something like that during the week, which isn't all that common. And the last tip is to find foods that you enjoy eating a lot and the ones that don't make you sick when you eat them most of the time. By finding foods that you like to make and eat a lot, it makes it a lot easier. So I like to cook burgers a lot, steak a lot, chicken a lot, and then mix them with broccoli, peas, green beans. And then we like to have rice a lot or potatoes a lot. So we tend to mix those things around. And maybe we'll change things up here and there, season them a little differently or whatnot. But we tend to stick with those staple things throughout the weeks. And it makes it really easy. And of course, we things like salmon, tilapia. So we have a lot of those kind of meats mixed in. Meats are always a staple of what I'm eating. They're always the best tasting part of it. That's why I'm pretty much not vegan right now or vegetarian, because I like meat way too much. But yeah, if you can just do that and find foods that you enjoy and the ones that aren't making you sick every day. So a lot of people that also do this tend to make themselves sick, and then they keep eating those foods when they should be removing those foods entirely from their diet. So those are some things you can do in order to help you with not needing meal prepping or meal services in general. And lastly, the people who should be looking into this service are ones who really, really need it. Like if you are just really struggling with especially losing weight, I would look into this. But also if you're looking to pack on some more size, you may need it so that you make sure that you're eating enough each and every day. And that is it for this video. So I hope you liked this question and answer session on, do I use a meal plan service or did someone build a meal plan for me? Again, the answer is no, but I hope you enjoyed it, and you can leave your current status of whether you do it or not in the comments section below. If you'd like to see my current training plan as well as all the equipment and products I use for fitness, please head over to GamerBody.com, opt into my newsletter, and from there you'll be taken to a page that has everything listed out for you. Also has my plan in there, which does change pretty regularly at this point. So it changes from here to there, but every time it does change, you'll get it as it is a document, like it's a live document that I share out, that once it changes, you'll see it on there as well. Also on there, if you want to work with me directly, you can head over and apply and fill out a form. Once I get it, we can jump on a call, talk together, and if I think you're a good fit to work with me one-on-one and really jumpstart your results, we can do that as well. So again, I hope you liked this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Be fit and game on.